Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to show you how I make my mouth-watering barbecued wings. The first thing we're going to do, guys, is to wash the chicken, and this is a really important step, so let's do that. So my chicken is in the water, and I've added 1 lemon. And I just had this soaking in the water for about a minute or so. I'm going to drain this water out. I'm just going to show you how I wash it. So I get a lemon, and I just squeeze the juice in there. Be careful of the seeds, and if you do manage to get seeds in it, it's best to take them out. Because cooked lemon seeds are not the nicest tasting, so you can remove them before putting it to cook. I'm just going to add some water, and I'm going to add some flour. Flour is something that my grandma always used to wash her chicken, and it's something a lot of my older generation used. And the reason for this is I think it just helps to remove all the slimy bits, because chicken does have a lot of slimy bits on it, and I think it just helps to remove that and take that off of the chicken and make it a lot fresher. So I always use flour and lime. If you don't have flour, you don't want to use it, it's absolutely fine. I mean, I've washed my chicken before without flour. So you see, it's things like this, it helps to remove quite easily. Makes the chicken less slimy. That should smell better, feel better, and it will definitely taste better when you cook it. What you also have to remember is when you buy a pack of chicken in the supermarket, or you get it from the butchers, and even if you get it from the supermarket and it's packaged up really well, you still need to wash it, because you don't know the processes before it got to the shelf. So it's important to wash the chicken. Obviously, to avoid cross-contamination, it's best when you're finished washing the chicken to really disinfect your sink and wipe all the surfaces down, just to make sure, you know, to prevent any sort of bacteria spreading. And that's my chicken. It smells good. It smells fresh. Looks good. So now that's ready to be marinated. So this is the dish that I'm going to bake my wings in. I'm just going to pour the washed chicken wings in there. Then I'm going to use a lime, and I'm going to squeeze half of the juice in the chicken. So that's half of the juice on the chicken there. And then the first thing I'm going to add is my grated onions. So that's half of an onion grated. Just going to put that in there. And I always prefer to grate some of my onions, because I do think that when it's grated, it helps to add more flavours to the chicken. And then I'm going to add my chopped onions. And then our next ingredient is the green seasoning, and this is just a mixture of lots of different herbs. You can find it in lots of Caribbean shops, or any shop that sell Caribbean food, and it's usually labelled as green seasoning. So I've got about 2 tablespoons of this in here, so I'll just pour that in. And then we've got some ketchup, just pour about that much, and we've got some barbecue sauce. So we're going to add another cup of the barbecue sauce. So we have a lot of spices here. So we've got tropical seasoning, onion powder, ground black pepper, garlic powder, chicken seasoning, all-purpose seasoning, and barbecue seasoning. And I've got a tiny bit of crushed garlic in there. So I'm just going to pour all of that on there. Then we're going to add a small bit of jerk seasoning. So just a mild, not too much of it, about that much. I mean, you can add as much as you like really, but just to keep it mild, especially if you've got kids and you don't want it to be too hot. I'm just going to add 1 teaspoon just for flavouring. And then I add a small bit of piri piri sauce, not a lot, and some honey. You don't have to put the honey, obviously it's just got a sugar hit, but if you want to do it without the honey, it will be absolutely fine. It will still taste delicious. And some soy sauce. Just a little sprinkle. So that's all the ingredients. I'm just going to wash my hands and mix it all in. I'm just going to get this distributed, all the spices distributed evenly. Just really work your hands into it and get the spices into the chicken pieces. And it doesn't really matter which ketchup you use or barbecue sauce, as long as it's a good quality one and it's one that you know and you know it tastes, you know, you can get a good taste out of it. Right, so that's all mixed in, guys. I'm just going to wash my hands and we're going to get this ready for the oven. That looks really good. Right, so I'm just going to clean around the edges. So that's all done. We're just going to stick this in the oven now to bake. It should take roughly about an hour, so let's do that. So before I put it in the oven, guys, I'm just going to add some salt, not too much because a lot of the spices that we've already put in the chicken has salt in it. So just a small amount because you can always add more later on. And I'm just going to squeeze a small bit of more barbecue sauce just at the top, and that would help with the colouring. And just a bit more ketchup at the top. That will just help it to go brown. So I'm just going to put it in the oven to bake. I'm going to put some foil on it to prevent the sauce from drying out, and that's going to go in on 200 degrees Celsius. So the oven has been preheated as well. So I'm going to put this in the oven for about 200 degrees Celsius. So that's in the oven now. We're going to let it cook for about an hour and then we'll come back and see how it's getting on. So it's been about an hour now, guys. I'm going to take it out of the oven to check on it and remove the foil. Right, so let's take this foil off. Wow, that looks lovely. So that looks cooked to me. We need to put it back in the oven so it just becomes a bit more sort of golden, sort of brown. So I'm going to leave the foil off and put back in the oven for about another 5 minutes or so. But that looks really good. The sauce is really nice and thick. If you're having this with some vegetable rice or just with some chips, then you'll have enough sauce. 5 minutes is up and I'm just going to take this out of the oven. So that's it, my barbecued chicken wings. Just putting a few of these on the plate. And can you see how much sauce we've got? We've got quite a lot. This is because we've covered it with the foil. If we didn't cover it with the foil, chances are it would have just dried out and you wouldn't have had any sauce at all. So if you're having this with a rice dish, then that would be great because you've got your sauce to have it with. I'm just going to sprinkle some that parsley that we chopped up earlier, and I've got some fried onions and garlic. You don't have to put the garlic if you don't want to, because it's really, you know, garlic can be quite strong, although it's really good for your immune system. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little drop of the garlic on the onions. And my girls would love something like this, sometimes for dinner with chips and coleslaw. And that's it, guys, my homemade barbecued wings. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me on my other socials. Please check out my other videos on food, family and lifestyle. Thank you for watching. See you next time.